guys for coming out. I'm in my 30s, so I have a lot of female friends, women, let's call them. They dye their hair, you know, and I said, why do you dye your hair? And they're like, oh, you know, to get the gray out. I'm like, well, that's bullshit, you know, because men can go gray whenever. No one says anything, they look distinguished. So I said, fuck it, you know, just go, just see what it looks like, that's fine. And a week after I said that, I actually saw a woman in her 30s who had like a full mane of silvery gray. I gotta tell you, she looked like she was baking Dutch children in the oven of her candy home. I went up to her and I said, man, you were amazing in the opening scene of Ghostbusters. Scared the shit out of that. Well done. I'll let you go. I believe you've got some Dalmatians you have to skin. I hope you guys are having a good summer. Summer sucks for me because I have seasonal allergies. Look, I'm glad that brings you joy. The problem with seasonal allergies is, I don't know if you've noticed, it is never not a season. There's not like a break in between them. Turns out I'm allergic to always. And allergies are just the planet's way of letting you know that you are not welcome. I step out of my house and I'm just maced by Mother Nature. She's like, stop looking at me! I can't help it, you are everywhere. And my friends that don't have seasonal allergies, they rub it, they flaunt it, they just prance around inhaling flowers and eating spoonfuls of dander, you know? And meanwhile, it feels like my own face is rejecting itself. They're like, oh, is it the cottonwood? I'm like, no, I think it's air. So if you don't have seasonal allergies, congratulations. Also, I hope that you die and get reincarnated as a bee that has seasonal allergies. You won't be able to pollinate shit. All the other bees will tease you. The bees be teasing for reasons, Sheezy. I like to read about science a lot. I've been reading about this drug research. This one scientist, he gave LSD to a jellyfish. And when I wanted to know, what kind of trip did the jellyfish have? Because part of me thinks he just had a really vivid hallucination that he's just like an accountant down in the loop, you know? He's just buying groceries at Jewel, you know? He's trying to explain it to the other jellyfish, like, it was fucking crazy, man! And this thing called a debit card, something called a pin, these things called hands. All the other jellyfish are like, calm down, Steve. The only time I ever took LSD, I had a really vivid trip that I was a jellyfish that had just taken LSD. So it was just me standing in Jewel trying to figure out what the fuck the stories were. What? Oh, paper, please. My favorite science thing to read about recently is, I've been reading about proton accelerators. I know that's the hot topic tonight, but if you don't know what a proton accelerator is, it's a machine. It takes subatomic particles and it rams them together to figure out what they're made of. And I like that, because that's how an 8-year-old child would do science experiments. Like, how does this work? I don't know, smash it! Smash it with a fucking rock! But it's a squirrel, alright? Be more scientific. We'll take 2 squirrels, load them into cannons, and fire them towards each other. Find out what they're made of. Well, it turns out squirrels are made of bits of squirrel. I knew it! My universal squirrel theory has been proven! How they laughed at me at Heidelberg. Because the thing is, people try to make you choose, don't they, between science and religion. They're like, oh, religion's crazy, but science is more logical, and, you know. But the more I read about quantum physics, the more it just sounds fucking made up. There's subatomic particles called quarks and gluons. The last time I checked, they were trying to kill Captain Kirk. And they have these names because scientists tend to be dorks and nerds, and that's good, because if cool kids were scientists discovering stuff and naming things, we would just have 14 planets all called Camaro. Biologists called Chelsea would come out and like, oh, this is my new tarantula, the Becky's such a bitch spider. But as is, the names are ridiculous. There's a phenomenon in quantum physics, it's true, it's called strangeness. How fucking lazy is that? Might as well go, yeah, well, this is the weirdo particle. It acts according to Einstein's theory of how the fuck should I know? So I think they should actually, combine like science and religion. Have like a quantum Jesus situation. And so we take two Jesuses, we load them into cannons, fire them towards each other, find out what they're made of. Turns out Jesus is made of bits of squirrel. I knew it! I told you! Oh man. Oh fuck, what day is it? Tuesday? Who has to get up? Who still has a job and has to get up for it in the morning? Anyway? Like how early? I can't see, so how early do you have to get up for work in the morning?
7:30.
7:30? That's fine. What do you do?
Research.
Okay. My answer is always, I work for the government. But 7:30 is nonsense, man. I don't get the whole thing of getting up in the morning. Like, if we are not supposed to sleep in the mornings, why are your dreams so fucking awesome? If you're supposed to get out of bed and go and be productive, why do you have a magical entertainment factory that lives in your brain and creates elaborate amusements for you while you sleep? Like my daily life is full of drudgery and dog shit. But when I'm asleep, I hunt dinosaurs with Burt Reynolds. Fuck reality, comas for everybody. And dead people live in your dreams too. Sometimes when I'm asleep, I get to see my late father and my friend Glenn, and we have a picnic inside a volcano. And then the alarm clock goes off and just kills them all over again. So, fuck reality. Comas for everybody. Even alarm clock, the name alarm clock, that tells you something about how we live our lives. Like, alarms should be for fire and home invasion and chilling. Calling an alarm clock implies that every morning is a catastrophe. Quick, get up! Everything's still terrible! Get lost! Your life isn't going to waste itself! And I have an electronic alarm clock, and sometimes it will go off at the exact same moment that a garbage truck is reversing under my window. So it's like beep, 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 beep. It's doomed mating ritual going on. The other day I was watching this documentary on PBS about 17th century painters. And I was watching the guy, presenting the show, and I was watching him, and I was like, oh, I know what I want to do for my life. I want to be a 17th century painter. Because, I don't know if you know, not only did they get paid really well, but they were actually encouraged to make their subjects look as large as possible. Because that's like a sign of prosperity and health. Like someone would be behind you going, I say, Gainsborough, throw a couple of extra chins on the missus, won't you? We don't want paupers, for God's sake. But the only problem with my plan, apart from the whole time travel aspect, is I can't paint. So I would have to try and do that with stand-up comedy, I say. The Earl of Swinburne's wife is so fat. I say she's so fat that her gout is the envy of all the Shire. And I'll tell you another thing. The Duke of Chiswick's daughter is so rotund. So if we're going to do this, we must enunciate it. Rotund. Thank you very much. I say she's so rotund that her whalebone corset